We would like to ask at this time Miss Bettye McKinnon to come forward and tell us the story of her father-in-law, Mr. Buren McKinnon. Betty's late husband, Bob McKinnon, was a World War II Army veteran and one of Houston County's biggest supporters of all Houston County veterans. Miss Bettye McKinnon.
Thank you, Deborah. Gold Star families, God bless you. And thank you to all veterans. Thank you for your service. I've been asked to tell the story about one World War I soldier from Houston County that was told to me many years ago. Don't we wish our hindsights were don't we wish our foresights were half as good as our hindsights? Oh, the questions I could ask today, and how I would sit and listen more than what I did. But I listened enough to tell this. Buren McKinnon was born in Houston County in May of 1897. In 1918, when he was 21 years old, and the World War I was being fought, he enlisted in the Army. He was sent to Knoxville, Tennessee for training. From there, he was sent to Aberdeen Proving Grounds for assignment. And the hand of fate stepped in, and he was transferred then to Fort Dix, New Jersey. Fort Dix, New Jersey is just across the river from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In Philadelphia, there was a young school teacher who was a member of a sorority. When Fort Dix celebrated a holiday, they held dinners and dances. Women at that time were not in the military service, so the young school teacher and her friends would go to Fort Dix and, in her words, to dance with the soldiers. In February, they were celebrating George Washington's birthday with a dinner and dance, and the young school teacher and her friends attended the dance to dance with the soldiers. Fate again stepped in and placed the young school teacher, Eve Stalls, into the arms of a very tall and handsome young Southern gentleman by the name of Buren McKinnon. On the 15th day of March, 1919, he was promoted to the rank of corporal and assigned to the 666 Motor Transport Corps, but remained at Fort Dix. Every holiday from then on found them together, and then he began visiting in their family home. The Southern gentleman was discharged from the Army, but he returned to Houston County. This romance did not end, as they started corresponding, and a couple of years later, things got serious. In cleaning out some papers a few years ago, we found a letter Miss Eve had written. My dad had owned a barber shop in Philadelphia, and one of his regular customers was the manager of the Ford Motor Company plant, and she wrote, "If you will come to Philadelphia, I'm sure Dad can get you a job here." Being a country boy, he no longer desired to locate in the city. Bob used to say, "Thank you, Lord, for Dad's decision." In June of 1922, the young teacher and her sorority boarded a train in Philadelphia bound for Cincinnati, where she had to change trains going to Nashville. Seeing her safely on the train, her friends returned to Philadelphia, and she traveled to Nashville, where she was met at Union Station by the young Southern gentleman and his sister, Louise. From there, they went immediately to McKendree Methodist Church on Church Street in Nashville, where they were married. They then journeyed to Erin and moved into a house on West Main Street that today has the number 4385. They lived there until his death in 1976 and she in 1990. Imagine, if you will, a young lady, 25 years of age, coming from a city where she was used to paved streets, sidewalks, indoor plumbing, centralized heat, electricity 24 hours a day, and being able to go to New York City for voice lessons, and attend her favorite, the Metropolitan Opera, and then moving to Erin, where we had open sewers, dirt streets, outhouses, coal stoves in one room for heat, a hand pump or cistern for water, and electricity that was on only a few hours a day, if that much. She must have loved him dearly and with her whole heart, because she stayed without regret until her death 68 years later. You have heard the stories of war and its casualties, so I would like to end this commemoration on a happier note. If it were not for World War I, would the young Southern gentleman had ever met the young school teacher from Philadelphia? I doubt it. So because of this, Houston County was given a young lady that taught second grade for over 38 years. That's somebody shaking their head. There are people today that tell me what a wonderful teacher she was and how honored they were to have been in her class. She became involved in the county, and the Methodist Church had a great choir leader for 50 years. Many brides remember her singing at their weddings, and families remember her singing at their loved ones' funerals. At the age of 92, she was still going door to door to all the businesses and houses in Erin collecting for the American Cancer Society. She belonged to many civic organizations, and the family laughingly have said she probably belonged to both the Republican and the Democrat women because it gave her someplace to go. I, for one, am glad fate entered into Pappy's life, as he was affectionately called, because I was married for 69 years to their young son, Bobby, a World War II Navy veteran. Thank you for the privilege of letting me share this story with you.